Welcome to Bullish and Beyond. It's Beery the Bull. I'm your AI co-host. Join myself, Brian the MacMan, and JT Knows Things while we dive deep into the world of stocks, crypto, and how to live a bullish life. It's time to get bullish, and there's no better place to start than right here. Let's dive in.
Hey everyone, welcome back for another incredible episode of Bullish and Beyond.
Let's go.
You know, today's market, it's hard to tell if we should be bullish or not. There is an insane amount of negativity around the geopolitical events happening right now. So which way do we want to trade this thing? Are we going to catch the falling knife and get the rebound, or we have more to go? You know, it's hard to tell. And
it's
JT's lights are changing. So it's, the changing of the tides. It's hard to know which direction we're going to move from here.
That's right. The ceiling reflects uncertainty, which is what, all of the markets, in my opinion, are feeling. Bitcoin's been stuck in a 9-week crab market. That's what I call it, where it's genuinely channel bound by a few thousand. We get into these markets pretty frequently. And oftentimes it is not a dramatic move after a crab market, either to the upside.
What's going to get us out of this crab?
What will get us out of the crab? That's a good question. I think one is going to be clarity around the world powers, which I don't know if we're going to get there anytime soon. So
maybe Davos this week. I mean, Trump set the talk on. We're recording this on Tuesday, and Trump's going to be talking there on Wednesday.
That would be interesting. I'm definitely going to have to watch that. Yeah, I mean, Trump is not for globalism, and that is, the WEF, World Economic Forum, which is, who hosts these conferences at Davos. They are all about the globalist agenda. So I don't know what we're going to get. I know.
Seems like we should pay attention this week.
Yeah, we definitely should, because that clarity is going to give the markets more confidence in the future. Either way, for example, if it's clear that NATO doesn't like the United States and wants to do something with us, because that is currently going on with our support of Israel. People will invest a shit ton in defense stocks, right? We'll at least have clarity.
Palantir, baby. It's one of the only stocks in the green today on my radar.
I believe that. I mean, the future of war is AI. So them and there's that private company.
The reason they're up today, though, just to be clear, was not based upon war specifically. They actually just signed a deal with Hyundai Shipbuilding, and they're one of the largest shipbuilders in the world. And apparently, using Palantir software, they can build these mega ships 30% faster. I mean, that is insane. So you spend a couple $100 million on Palantir software, and then you save billions in the process of shipbuilding.
That is pretty crazy. It's pretty wild. It's the same logic driving crypto. I don't know if you saw this report. It came out late last week from JP Morgan. One of their analysts said right now Chase has 410,000 employees, and the estimates of implementing like blockchain rails in their entire business would reduce that number to about 20,000.
What?
So it's about a 95% increase in efficiency, which is pretty wild.
Because those bankers' jobs are just so much minutia and repetitive.
It's that, and it's also, you got to think about this. There's 4 to 8 middlemen between you swiping your credit card at a gas station and the actual settlement of that transaction, right?
Yep.
So you got all these vendors, then you have all the people responsible for those vendors, and then you have the people at those vendors. You start doing the math, it's like
multiplies fast.
10, 20, 30 people are touching your transaction. That literally can be erased by a smart contract hosted on Ethereum. So it makes people. They need no one. Abe's issued tens of billions of dollars of loans. They currently are in the top, 40 largest banks in the world with
we showed that
0 employees. Yeah. I mean, they're bigger than some of the banks.
It's hard to believe they can be 40 largest with 0. And then also we were having billion-dollar companies come about that are going to have one employee, like the owner, and that's it. Like, that is literally the world that we're moving to. And another example of a big cut. Another example of a big cut kind of related to AI was with Meta. They made a huge cut to their Reality Labs division last week. And the reason is they're moving a little bit away from that metaverse type play, even though they're still going to have all their glasses and stuff that are doing things inside the metaverse with AR and VR, but getting away from thinking that we're going to be living in this metaverse on Facebook. And they don't need as many people to be in that division anymore. And they said that AI is doing a number of those jobs now.
Yeah. What do you think 5 years from now? I mean, no one's
95% cut. I mean, in a lot of fields.
You'll need like one person for 100 agents, let's just say. Let's just say that's what it is, and those agents could literally do the work of 3 employees. I mean, you're talking about a 300-to-1 ratio, like most likely, because you could access those agents with just one input from a voice, and then you have all these very niche agents that do their integral parts and work with one another to accomplish whatever task they were instructed to do. Just imagine something like Zapier, but for your actual business, not just your website and your CRM. That's going to come in the next 5 years. I think we're in for a rude awakening.
People are already doing that now, like at a small scale, but it's just not like widespread that there's enough implementers to like turn this on. People are scared of SaaS software, for instance. This last week, SaaS took like a massive hit. Salesforce or CRM, for example, they're having all these different AI deployments come out for software, but people are saying now you can like vibe code with these things. Like Shopify CEO came out and wrote some software to analyze his doctor's appointment and all his x-rays faster than the software could do it on its own. So it's like you can create the software in hours that's going to be industry leading in theory.
I mean, as a cool experiment, this is a SaaS tool that is in my field. Token Terminal, they charge about $2,000 a year to get access to a bunch of really cool data and tables and all that stuff. But on Claude, I was able to gather the same data because it's all public, right? You just need the resources to go get the data, pull it into a central location, and then visualize it. So I was able to write a Python script that I was able to grab everything, put it into an Access database that cost me like it's part of my Office suites, whatever, $180 a year. Whatever. Whatever, negligible. And then I was able to write queries that went into Excel that it built a Visual Basic wizard in there that was able to immediately show me charts. It took me 3 hours to circumvent $2,000 a year. I just wanted to see if I could do it, but literally vibe coded their entire back end, very rudimentary, but was able to make all that happen. So, and I probably could have been smarter. I could have used Power BI if I had that subscription. I could have made it. You could have brought in a bunch
of tools.
Yeah, but I just see that being a thing. And then, like, if I could do that, what if I built a competitor that allowed you to just hey, how many active developers are there on Solana? And then a chart showed up. Like, that was it. Something that simple. And I charged $10 a month. I could undercut Token Terminal just by doing that. And like soon there's going to be enough people that have enough ambition to make these things where I could easily see SaaS taking a hit with some, new competitor with 1 or 2 employees, way leaner, that's able to pivot and even with AI offer customized UIs by each customer. That's another thing. Like, what if you could just change the way the UI worked to your liking? Like, can you put the notifications button in the top right? Can you do this? Can you put the menu? Like, you would take a lot of Salesforce's business. The biggest complaint is their interface is too complex. I mean, it takes months to train people how to even use it.
Sure. Yeah, I agree. I mean, so we have to program it now, but I wonder in the near future, let's talk about like when Optimus comes out. So, version 3 of Optimus is close to production ready by Tesla right now. I mean, maybe that robot can observe what you're doing and then use Grok to code it without you even asking it. If you just say, hey, watch what I'm doing, help me recreate this, like, let it figure out all the different prompts and vibe coding needed. Like, in theory, it should be able to do it all on its own.
That's interesting. So you envision one dude, 5 robots in an office with agents behind the robots just crushing it.
Yeah, I mean, if it's just watching your screen, I mean, it might also be virtually tapped in. I don't know if it has to physically be in your office or not. It could just be, have viewing privileges and say, this is the data I'm trying to get. Like right now, I need to find a stock screener that can like look at all these different variables I'd like to get for some day trading information. And I found some companies out there that offer these screenings, but I downloaded the software and paid for it last week. It's so complicated to use. I could not believe it. I mean, there's just like a million variables and trying to lay it all out. I honestly, it was too complicated. I just backed off and got my money back. But I'd love to vibe code something that could pull together and help me find the stocks that meet all this criteria very quickly. But it seems like if you gave it to a smart robot, they'd be like, oh my God, this is so easy. Let me just find the right sources to pull the data and present it to you. Like,
I think that brings about an interesting discussion, and it applies to like robots. So, and like our kind of future outlook. In the future, do you think it's more likely that, similar to how I guess phones are, the robot is a product? You buy the product, and then they issue software updates that increase capabilities, so you don't really need to buy a robot for a specific thing.
It's the same way a Tesla car works. It gets a new update. We're on version 12 now. I was in version 11 last year. It's going to be new version every 6 months.
Yeah, because like you might buy an Optimus 3 today, and all it can do is house chores. But what if 5 years from now, an Optimus 3 can also, build a house? As an example, that would. I think
it'll get the constant upgrades, but it'll always be limited at some point. By the hardware. The same reason I need to update my Tesla now, because a newer one has better megapixel cameras and a faster GPU from NVIDIA. The next generation Tesla chip that they're making, they said is 100 times faster. Then the next one after that, 3 years later, is another 100 times faster. So I think you're just going to be, do you want the cutting edge speed, or is the old one okay? And like now, let's say it lifts 100 pounds. Well, then in 5 years, it's going to lift 300 pounds.
Right.
So if you want the house building version, you're going to have to pay for the 2030 edition.
Yeah. Or like just the amount of motors and functions. Tesla spent 2 years on the hand, 27 different motors, right?
It's insane.
Or like the next one might have 100 components in its hand, so it could do finer things as well.
My limited research of people I've talked to that have information on the inside say this version 3 is just going to blow our minds. It's like night and day what version 2 is, and no one's seen anything like it. And then on top of that, it has Grok built in with all the real world capabilities of that AI. And that's kind of the game changer that these other companies, Boston Dynamics, for example, the robot looks super cool, and I'm sure it can access AI. I don't know if it's using ChatGPT or Grok or Anthropic, whatever, but it's not like built in and coded for that specifically. It's just like, it's the same way Apple melds the software and hardware as opposed to getting these different components and software at different places. It's just going to work better having it all built in, I think.
Yeah, 100%. It will. I think it's going to, I mean, we both believe this, but I think it's just going to create a stronger and stronger moat for Tesla. They're first to market, and with their
Tesla's at 420, it could be 700 in 2 years, like no problem.
That's great. What would its market cap be?
I mean, right now it's only a trillion. It's not like it's some crazy market cap. I mean, if it were to catch up to, Apple and, NVIDIA, it'd have to go 4x. It'd be 1,600.
Do you think they split at some point again?
Yeah. The retail trader is super into Tesla, and anything over 1,000 is just, it seems too high. Yeah, I like the splits. I mean, I know so many people that just don't buy stocks that are worth a lot of money because they're so focused on the share count, not just the overall upside, unfortunately.
That's such a strange optic. And also, it makes, as a crypto guy, makes zero sense because I can buy
compared
like
to Bitcoin, 95K, you're like,
what are we talking about? Like, I've been stacking sats for a long time, like you can literally buy 0.00001 Bitcoin down to the 10,000.
You can't do that in most traditional stocks, though. And you also, even if you, I mean, I know some companies allow you to do that, but it doesn't feel the same, I don't think, in the stock market that it does in the crypto. Another thing, too, is when you're buying options, like I've noticed when I've been looking at different options that are in play to trade, I almost want to go to the ones that are a little bit lower because the options price is so high based upon the share price. You start buying these, Tesla calls for a year out, it might cost you 40 grand, as opposed to a smaller company that's, Joby, the aircraft drone company, there's only a few hundred. So it's like, you can just get so much more play on some of these, smaller dollar names when you're purely focused on shares and, option price. Yeah. But that's not how I play my game in general. I am focused on the overall return, and man, there are some, I think, bright spots right now, and particularly in the chip market. Like TSM just reported last week an insane earnings report. They were up like 35% year over year. just blew out the numbers. And the stock moved up pretty significantly. It was up about 4 or 5% that next day. But with that, there's a lot of other companies that are winning. Like the number one customer of TSM is NVIDIA. They actually just overtook Apple in terms of total chip ordering from TSM. And this isn't like a confirmed report. This is just from my research. That's not coming out of TSM. But the fact that NVIDIA is now the number one customer showcases that clearly they're ordering that many more to drive up the revenues that much. So guess what's going to happen when NVIDIA reports? Going to be a nice bump up again. And, NVIDIA is actually at the lowest PE it's had in over a year. It's at 44 PE right now. It's one of the fastest growing companies in the world. It's the number one market cap company in the world. And their future earnings are going to explode based on the pipeline. It is nonstop.
It smells like opportunity right there.
I think it is.
That's an interesting correlation between TSM and NVIDIA, because if they're buying more chips from TSM, that means they're expanding their CapEx. But since they have such a large pipeline of customers waiting in line, they're really just trying to fulfill letters of intent, right? I mean, it's in the bag. They just actually have to deliver. And with TSM being above mark, that means they got 35. Well, I don't know if they have actually 35% more units, but they've at least been able to create more for NVIDIA to sell. So that makes a lot of sense. And TSM do they do the big chips that go into the GPUs, right? I mean,
that's the number one chip builder in the world. So yeah, it's all the high-end cutting edge chips. I mean, they're down to the new 2 nanometer process right now. And speaking of CapEx, they said they're going to plow over $50 billion into CapEx next year, continuing to build more of these chip fabs. And it just when you had that momentum, like you can't catch up. The moat around TSM is so many years out that and there's other competitors. I mean, Samsung and Intel are the 2 nearest competitors, and they have 5% market share. They're not even playing the same game.
I hope that 50 billion isn't all in Taiwan.
No, China's a lot in the U.S.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yes, they didn't break it out in the earnings call, but I know that a lot of the fabs are growing in the U.S.
That's good. That's good, because the movements from China and Taiwan would have me scared if I was holding TSM right now. Xi Jinping just really, I don't know if it's directly from his office, but there's been a lot of claims that they are mobilizing 50,000 troops to set up on an island just, a few hundred miles away from Taiwan that is actual U.S. and Taiwanese territory, just no bases, nothing manned. So they've been moving their ships closer and closer. Not really a blockade, but they are patrolling Taiwanese waters at this point. They violated the U.S. line in the ocean, if you will, about 8 months ago. And they have gotten nothing but more aggressive, especially with BRICS and the Western powers really getting further entrenched. I mean, we just kidnapped the president of Venezuela. We have the Iranian economy going to zero with thousands of people being executed in the streets. The Israel-Palestine thing is still a thing, peace treaty or not.
Hamas ramping up now in Gaza.
Yeah, Hamas is doing more. IDF is doing more. I mean, it's just insane where the world's at, and we're talking about Greenland, Canada. Even Elon Musk is tweeting that he's considering buying Greenland. Like, it's a crazy world we're in. Did you see that, by the way?
I did not see that. Elon tweeted this morning about buying Ryanair.
Okay, just the tweet was beautiful. It was beautiful. He Googled his net worth, took a screenshot, 727 billion, and then replied to a report from Reuters that Greenland's valued at around 700 billion. And he was basically like, I'd still have about 27 billion left. This is sounding more enticing by the day.
Just trade out all his Tesla and SpaceX stock for Greenland.
He'd just take a loan on it. He'd get over levered, and then he would basically turn Greenland into it'd be like the UAE of North America or close to it. And then he would just use the country to pay back his debt, and he'd never have to sell his shares. I
don't think you'd want to live on Greenland, though. I know there's like 50,000 residents or something, but it's just like an ice cap. I mean, it's pretty over there, and there's a lot of minerals.
It's a great place to put heat sinks for data centers. It's pretty cold.
Well, that's true. It might be free cooling. I like that. It might be some good place
to
set up some solar arrays. I mean, I'm sure Elon Musk would figure it out between all his tunneling and solar and chip businesses. You know what to do there.
It would be crazy if he actually put in a bid for Greenland. I don't even know what the process of that is.
You can't bid. It's a country. Like, we're talking about taking.
What is Trump going to do? Really? What is he going to do? I mean, he said he's military.
Seems like he's just making threats. Like, he's like, oh, no more. I'm only doing peace now. I'm thinking about the U.S. and that's great. I mean, I'm a U.S. citizen. I like him thinking about the U.S., but I don't think you can just take countries. I mean, I know that worked, hundreds of years. I mean, obviously, in theory.
I mean, what's Russia doing right now?
Yeah, but everyone's fighting back. Like, if the U.S. were to literally take Greenland, does that start some type of war? Like, I don't even know. Like, would Denmark and NATO come after us?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. Yeah, it would violate NATO. They might, cite Article 5 and come after us. Absolutely. That could be a thing. I don't know. I do not. I genuinely don't know. And the markets obviously don't know either what's going to happen. If we took over Greenland, I do know it would be good for our economy. What Trump's really doing, and actually, I'm going to lift back the curtains a little bit, give some viewers some insight. His goal is to repair the American economy. The problem is we're at a 123% debt to GDP ratio based on his printing and Biden's and basically everyone's printing. That'll be 210% by 2050.
Ooh.
We are going to be in like Japan, Iran right now, like all these countries.
We need to grow our GDP quickly.
There you go. So the goal is to decrease that gap, and the only way to do that is one of two ways. Stop expanding the money supply, which we're not going to do. They're addicted to it. Or increase the GDP to make up for that gap. If your GDP is going up 12% a year, which has happened, but not since the Industrial Revolution. So that would be like crazy. Maybe AI can do it. 12, 15% a year would be the target. We're coming into the AI
revolution. I believe it's possible.
Well, you know what would shortcut? You know what would shortcut it?
Take it.
Take GDP. Yeah. Oh, 303 barrels of oil. It's mine now. Oh, Greenland, you got more rare minerals than China in Taiwan? Yeah, I'm going to take that. We're going to blow those mountains up, and we're going to take everything from it. He's going to increase our GDP within his 4 years. That's his goal.
How are we not already mining stuff like that in Greenland? And I don't even mean like the U.S., but just in general, the companies that have access and need minerals. It's like if they are in China and China controls 90% of the supply of the rare earth metals, why didn't we start looking at Greenland, decades ago?
Who's paying for it?
Well, the companies that extract metals, I mean, like critical mining companies, like why are they not already brokering deals with Denmark and Greenland to be in there? Are they not allowed? I don't know.
Who's issuing the licenses?
I mean, Denmark in theory.
Where are their incentives? Because as far as I can tell,
they can get paid. They don't care.
They're part of the EU, and they're not a big contributor to NATO or the EU. And you have their... I don't want to get political, but the EU just is not.
We already got political.
It's not a capitalistic mindset, okay?
Yeah.
And they're incredibly in debt. So realistically, yes, they might be able to pull themselves out, but with what working force? You get a company there, great. Are they going to move hundreds of thousands of people there to work? If so, that's a huge load for the government to take on.
I guess that is one of the biggest problems is that there's no workforce there. I mean, the workforce is, a tenth the size of the city I live in right now, like the whole country.
One city. Yeah. And, these aren't great climates, right? Like those minerals are literally in the side of mountains that are closer to the North Pole than New York.
Yeah.
So it's incredibly frigid, harsh climate. And the ground has a permafrost. It's one of the few places you'll find tundras, right? And the ground is literally frozen for tens of or hundreds of feet in certain areas. So you're battling conditions that are pretty unique. Yeah, exactly.
I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying my Florida winter. It got down, hit the 50s this week. Can you believe it?
Right. and all that comes back to the more left-leaning conservationalism. Like what does it actually look like getting that out of the ground? Like the Europeans aren't about that.
It might ruin the environment. Like I mean I've no studies or data. I haven't researched that.
Yeah.
Just thinking out loud, it's like, wow, this resource has been there for so long, why is it today, this week, that it's coming up so much.
I think Trump learned of their resources just like he learned of Venezuela's.
Yeah.
I bet it was like a 1 week period. He starts the actual
he got a crash course on like critical needs.
Yeah. Yeah. Like one advisor is like, hey, I know it's the war on drugs and everything, but just hear me out. They got more oil than Saudi Arabia. And then he just starts blowing shit up. Yeah. It smells like Venezuela needs some freedom.
It seems like doesn't seem like it takes much to trigger Trump to take action. Like you said, one advisor in his ear could just drive some insane amount of activity.
Yeah, in all caps tweet and then B-3 bombers en route, his tweets are out of control. They're out of control.
So is Elon. I mean, today someone said we should fire the CEO of Ryanair because he sucks. And the reason he said he sucked is because he wouldn't use Starlink on his airplanes. And Ryanair has no internet. And Elon's arguing that people aren't going to fly any airline in the future that doesn't have great internet. And I agree. If I'm taking a transatlantic flight, I would definitely need internet. If I'm flying 30 minutes, probably not. But the fact that an airline is saying they don't need it and it's going to cause them $200 million of extra fuel charges or something like that for the resistance of the antenna. And Elon just told this guy we should fire him. And someone was like, well, if you buy the company, you could fire him. He's like, yeah, maybe I'll do that. And I'll just hire some guy, Ryan, to run it.
Yeah, dude, Elon's out of pocket. He is.
He's only $35 billion. He could just raise money tomorrow, just go buy an airline.
God, dude. And then he gets paid $1 trillion in the next, 5 years?
Well, he's got a long way to hit that trillion. I mean, they have an insane amount of work to do and growth. It is not going to come easy, if at all. If he gets half the way there, it would be more impressive than almost any other CEO in the world could ever do. So the target is egregious. I mean, had to have millions and millions of cars sold per year. I mean, it's more than double what they're doing now as the trend is going down in terms of car sales. Will we need more car sales during this future of robotaxis? I think less car sales, and I think it's going to be more fleet owned. So I'm not sure how those numbers would count towards that. It might just be total cars produced. I'm not sure it matters what bucket it goes into. And they have to have tens of millions of these robots being made every year. So they're building the groundwork to get there, though, which is exciting. I mean, he's exciting. So far planning ahead from where he needs to be.
It'll be an interesting road. I think Tesla's a name to look for, TSM, NVIDIA. And on my end, I'm still bullish on Aave, anything with the Ethereum ecosystem. The prices don't show it today, but the Genius Act is going to bring trillions onto Ethereum. And then I think the biggest winners of that liquidity are all of the, tools or resources that make that a reality. Link being one of them. And also, if I have my capital in stablecoins now, am I really going to go to a bank, give my cash, then apply for a loan? No, I'm going to move my Ether into a wallet. Aave. Yeah. So all of the things that already pump when stablecoins go up, all the directly correlated assets are still going to do very well. These are all great names to watch.
I like it. High tech, future oriented. That is where we're skating here on Bullish and Beyond. We'll keep bringing you more bullish content. Stay tuned. Make sure to think and do your own research. Stay ahead of the curve. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Cheers.
Plus, see ya.
Bulls. That's a wrap on today's episode of Bullish and Beyond. Remember, the market never sleeps and neither should your ambitions. Whether it's stocks, crypto, or just leveling up in life, stay focused, stay bullish, and keep charging forward. Keep your energy high and your mindset bullish. This is Beery the Bull, your AI co-host, Brian the Mac Man, and JT Knows Things signing off. All content published by Bullish and Beyond, LLC reflects personal opinions only and is provided for informational purposes. Please conduct your own research and discuss with your accountant and/or financial advisor before making any financial decisions. The information presented should not be taken as financial advice. We are not financial advisors. Nothing you hear, see, or read in our content should be considered as any form of financial, investment, or legal advice, or a solicitation to buy or sell any assets, or to make any financial decisions.